Greetings and salutations. It is time for another road trip. Time to get out of the Austin area. Sometimes I feel like I'm just too restricted in my bubble. Even though I am finding some good stuff, I am always curious to see what else is out there. So today we are going to Fort Hood, Texas, or Killeen. So shout out to you guys out there in the service in Killeen. I was actually stationed in Fort Hood, part of 1st Cav. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and go through the thrift stores here. And the thing I love about the military towns is, since there's so many people coming and going through the base and through that area, there is a lot of random stuff at thrift stores. So let's go check it out. Okay, so we're here in Killeen, stopping at the first Goodwill. The baskets are outside, which is awesome because it's 40 degrees, so they're nice and cold. Let's go ahead and check it out. Looks like we have an extensive shoe collection, so this might take me a bit. Let me go ahead and cherry pick and see if there's anything worth any money here. And we'll go from there. And voiceover time. Goodwill, please lower your music. Nike PG1s. These were selling for about 60 bucks. The insoles were damaged pretty bad and the front of the shoe was becoming unglued, so I decided to leave those. And then we have some Jordan 17s, overall excellent condition, and these were going for about 50 bucks. I paid 12 here at this Goodwill. Then we found some more Nike Griffey Max 1s. This colorway wasn't doing too good online. I know in a previous video of mine, the green and black ones, I have sold those, but these were not fetching too much. So I just caught the restock over there, and we got these J's right here, as well as these Adidas. All really good sizes. And lastly, I'm still iffy on these, only because they're actually in really good shape for the age, but I'll do a little bit more research and figure it out. Alright guys, check out this vintage Nike Air Max T, American flag, got the tags, and then we got the Nike logo at the bottom. Great shape. And to wrap this trip up, I was in line and the register decided to go offline. So I could crack some jokes with people in line, and yeah, I met some people. It's pretty interesting. So we went ahead and picked up the Black J's, as well as the retros. Now the retros, the front part was becoming unglued just a little bit, but for size 11, there's not really a whole lot. I think there's only 2 other ones. One's brand new, and the other one's going for $69.99. So I'll probably put them on there, with a disclaimer, needs restoration. If not, maybe I'll find somebody locally in town who can restore them pretty cheap. Now we're gonna go ahead and go to the next spot. And shout out to the G-Man, if you're watching this out there. Some guy I just randomly met online, an older dude. And he said, yeah, you beat me. Where'd you get those? You outpicked me. So it's all fun out here. And another thing, it just helps to be friendly, I find it that most of the people I meet, they have a good attitude. If you ever find me out in public at one of these thrift stores, you can come up to me and, we'll share some laughs, crack some jokes. But, you just always try to be positive wherever you're at. And that's pretty much about it. Here we go again. I'm going to get so big, just eating nothing but Dairy Queen. But they didn't have a Chipotle nearby, so I did get jalapenos, so that's going to put a little pep in my step. There we go, spot number 2. Now this Goodwill, man, I used to go here even back as a soldier. I would go thrift and look for vintage clothing. I was really into the 80s stuff because, back then this was 2000, so vintage is, 80s. Now it's about the 90s, but yeah, I'm excited. I haven't been here in years, so let's go ahead and go inside and see what we find. Looks like you got some LeBrons here. I'm sure they want these. Not seeing a price, 14. We'll check those out. And we finally came across some vintage clothing. Nike windbreaker with the tags, and down in the back we got that blocky lettering. This one did have a hood, so that's good. Just a nice colorway in that North Carolina. Comps were all over the place, but nothing in that color. So in the basket we do have a few pickups, a couple of retros. Here's one of them, white and black colorway, as well as these in the black and pink. Lastly, some Nike Roshis. These were my size. I did want to keep them, but don't get high on your own supply. These can fetch for anywhere from 40 to I think 50 max, and these were about $8, so pretty good pickup. So overall, pretty good retro haul. Glad I finally found some retro windbreaker, and for the most part, that wasn't that bad. I did have to leave behind the LeBrons. I think those were fake. The material felt really sketchy, and when I input the stock number, it was matching up with a completely different colorway. So I played it safe, just left them there. But we're gonna go ahead and go to about 3 more spots. The next is in Copper's Cove. Shout out to Copper's Cove. We're gonna hit up that Goodwill, and I'll probably get some caffeine because that burger's starting to slow me down a little bit. But let's get on the road and see what we have in store. Goodwill number 3. Let's go.
Here we are at this third location. They've really upgraded. Oh, I think I'll take that from me. It's a skateboarding shirt or a hat. They've really upgraded it with the wood. Looks kind of fancy, right? This used to be super not in the best condition, to put it in the nice way of a thrift store, but hey, good job. Let's see what we got. So after going through the men's and the women's, found these Nike Jordan retros, gold and black colorway. They are asking for 20, so I'll have to double check the condition. Do see there's quite a few scuffs on here, so I gotta determine if I can get that out. But everything is cleanable, then I'll probably pick these up. Did come across this awesome vintage Ralph Lauren jacket, but upon further inspection, ripped on the sleeves, or just under the armpit. Here's another awesome vintage piece, Converse. Does have a hood as well. There's a small stain down there, but considering that it's vintage, shouldn't be a big deal. So I'm just wrapping up my time at this location, but check out this Bugle Boy bag. Thought it was a Tommy bag for a second, but comps aren't too great. I'd probably get it for the collection, but the zipper's busted. Thought it was a cool piece though. So I'm just about to get into line, but I figure I'd show you guys what I'm gonna end up taking. I'm taking the Jordans here, even though this Chaps Ralph Lauren piece has a hole right here. I believe I can get it repaired pretty cheap. The only thing other than that was there's a missing button snap up here, but since it's up there, it should be fine. I mean, this is a solid Ralph Lauren piece, so figured I'm not gonna pass it up in that, and it's just in great shape. Vintage Converse piece. Slight staining, but unique piece, so just gonna take that as well. And then I'm taking the CB Sport for the collection. I figure I start beefing up my vintage clothing section up, so I'm gonna start with this CB Sport piece. I mean, online I could probably get about 30 for it, paying $6.99. I think in one of my earlier videos I did find another one, but I think they wanted $9.99 or more, so this was at a good price. So let's go ahead and get out of here. At this point, I've never been to this one, so I'm kind of interested in seeing what's in here. It's kind of in a random area of town, so let's go ahead and go inside. So I'm going around this Goodwill, and I think it's more of a retail place as this is stated in the front, because there's more like new stuff here and not so much donations. So we're gonna go ahead and go through the clothing real quick and then we're gonna go to our last spot. But you know, it's good to stop in. You never know what you find. Unfortunately, I haven't found any good shoes. Went through the coats, didn't find anything. So next is gonna be just the t-shirts and athletic gear. See if I can find any vintage here, and then we'll get out of here. So that was my first time inside a Goodwill retail store, and there's retail goods in there. I didn't know. I never been to one, but now I know. I'm glad I stopped in. I know to probably avoid this place. But we got one last stop. I did have a double espresso at the Goodwill before this one, right after it, so I am catching my second win. I'm good. Like that hat though. Found this at the thrift store, Sunshine Run. Apparently it's a run here in Austin, Texas, so if anybody asks me if I'm gonna do it this year, because I think it's in April, I'll probably say my knee's busted or something and act like I did it. Why not? I don't know. Just kidding. Let's go to the next spot. So I got word from G-Man, the guy that I met at the first Goodwill, that this Goodwill is good. We are in Belton, Texas, which is just outside the Fort Hood area. I'm seeing retail store over there, so I don't know if it's going to be a retail goods store. I'm hoping it's not. And since it's kind of out here, I'm expecting it to be good. I'm hoping, but I'm just speculating at this point. Let's go ahead and go in. Okay guys, so far I have not found any shoes here. Just going through the men's still. Did find this powered down jacket. Just going for decent comps. There's a little things here and there about it though. I'm kind of hesitant to pick it up. There's a few nicks in the back. The zipper down at the bottom, the stitchings are kind of loose. A little stain here, so I may leave this behind just because it's not in perfect condition. And I'm not gonna pick this up. I just thought it was funny, right? But honestly, I found more things for my personal collection. I have this shirt right here already, but I might pick it up to flip. It's about $5. Everything looks legit on the tags, so as well as this polo. I might keep that for me. I don't have one in pink. Other things, these old school embroidered Adidas and Nike tees. I like to collect those for myself. And lastly, I don't have one of these 6.0 Nike shirts, so yeah. So I'm just about done wrapping up everything. I went to the women's, did not find anything, but we're just gonna go ahead and pick up these polos. So we got the Pima Cotton, the Lacoste polo, as well as I decided to double back through the polo since I found those two to see what else I could find. So I found the Big Face polo right here, XL in red, really good shape, and I think $3.99. So stuff that I used to dabble in. But Austin just keeps increasing the prices on these types of items. But it's surprising to see that they're relatively inexpensive here. So we're just going to go ahead and pull the trigger on those. And then those old school tees are going to be for me and my collections. So I say we roughly started this journey around 11. It is 6 p.m. right now, and I am out thrifted. Done. Don't want to look up any more shoe SKUs or shirts or jackets. To be honest, the last two Goodwills, I felt my threshold being pushed, my thrifting stamina. It's been a while. I usually do these little power hours or maybe power 2 hours. This was a couple of hours and I'm pretty spent, so we're gonna go ahead and hit the road and probably recap if I still have some energy. If not, we'll go ahead and do it the next day and see how I feel when I get there. I might get another coffee. Actually, I'm just kind of done, but it was fun. Killeen,
And let's go ahead and hit the road. All right, and that was the pretty much the end of the trip. It was a all-day thing. I had left at 11 o'clock in the morning, got back around 8 at night, so I was pretty beat. I still had to fulfill some orders for eBay, but held off from doing the video, the recap video, until this morning. And as you can see, I do have a few pieces behind me. But let's go ahead and go over the top 2 profitable shoes I picked up. And first up is the Jordan Retro 5s in the gold, white, and black colorway. These are going anywhere online for about 40 to 60 bucks. I did have to pay 20 for them, so a little bit more pricey than what I'm used to paying. And overall, they're in good shape, very minimum heel drag, but in 7 youth, and there's not too many of this size online, so we should be able to get our asking price. I will have best offer activated though, just in needed of a quicker flip. And we got the Adidas Lillard Chinese New Year's in excellent condition. Paid $12.99 for these. Great shape. And these are actually in the size 13, so they're going up for about 60 bucks plus shipping online. And these were at the Goodwill, the first Goodwill I went to, and they had just restocked the shoes. Unfortunately, I was just there at the right time. I ended up picking them up. And just a few minutes later, there's some pickers looking for some shoes like these. So I really lucked out, and overall great pickup. Honorable mention, Jordan 8 Retros. I thought these were just a fun pickup. Look at that colorway, excellent. These were $12.99 as well. I believe these were a size 11. And yeah, there is some wear right there, but as mentioned earlier in the video, there's only 2 other listings at this time. Brand new ones going for about 200 plus the asking price, and another size 11 about 70 bucks plus shipping. So I can either find somebody locally here in Austin to try to restore these for me, or I can just list them as needs restoration. But yeah, I thought these were pretty cool. You get the little fuzz right there on the tongue. Just a fun pickup. And last but not least, the fun vintage stuff behind me. For those of y'all who don't follow me on Instagram, sometimes I'll share the story that I used to flip vintage clothing back in late 90s, early 2000s on eBay actually. And I did it as a way to get Taco Bell money. But back then it was mostly the 80s stuff like this right here. But now that we're in 2019, it's mostly 90s stuff that's popular. So I have fun picking up this kind of stuff. I'm just not as fortunate as finding it too often. As y'all know, I live in Austin, so aside from pickers, we got just young kids looking for this stuff. And I think that's kind of my main motive behind these road trips, just to kind of see what else is out there, because since I'm in this Austin bubble, you got to realize, this stuff's kind of rarer to find, as opposed to maybe a smaller town just outside the city. And another thing is, I do go during the week through the thrift stores, so I like to bring out another piece that I actually have. And I actually did find this in Austin. I was kind of surprised. Another Nike Air windbreaker. And this has the old school tags, Nike Champs. So I thought this was a fun piece. $9.99. Everything's in immaculate condition. The Velcro, the zippers. So most of the stuff I'm going to put online, but I have a feeling I could probably flip it locally here in Austin. So, we'll see how that goes. And let me go ahead and bring up this piece as well. In the video, it did have a seam issue right here, but that can be easily fixed. So it's not actually torn. The seam has just got kind of loose. I don't think it's torn, at least. No, it doesn't look too torn. But I did like that big spell out right there. Now, as a kid, I always wanted Chaps stuff. I think back then, there used to be a Foley's, or was it Foley's? Well, it was kind of like a Ross type of store. And yeah, I used to always bug my mom for stuff like this, but she never got it. I ended up getting Bugle Boy, so. But a second piece, maybe I didn't get on the camera too well, was this windbreaker as well. Vintage. Got that block lettering in the back. And this tag right here. Now this tag I do recognize because I remember back in, I think, 95, I was still kiddo. I really wanted a Nike windbreaker, and my mom would not let me have it because it's, it was 50 bucks at the Dillard's at the time, or the Sears. And that's kind of a lot of money to spend on, I think I was like maybe 10 or 11-year-old at the time. But I think I got one for Christmas, and I remember just always being fascinated by it. And I remember that similar tag on that black one that I have. So that's kind of cool. And that's all the time we have for today's video. Feel free to like and subscribe. And if you want to see more of my midweek pickups, follow me on Instagram at @TheAustinGentleman with no space. And this road trip was fun. I had a blast. It was good to get that nostalgia feeling going through these little places that I used to go back in the day. We do have other road trips planned this month and next month, so keep an eye out for that. And that's it, guys. See you next time.